Content Catchup.
So I mentioned last week that I am going to start. I wanted to talk a little bit about NFL this week. Anyone who knows me, I'm a big Patriots fan. I will say I'm a little bit of a bandwagon supporter, but I also just love Boston sports in general. So they were my team.
Are they one of the super team? Are they like an equivalent to a super team or a bandwagon team?
They're the best team in the competition. I'm trying to think of like a equivalent. Remember when Hawthorn won like 4 premierships?
Yeah.
And everyone, or like when the Tigers won 2 in the last 3 years and all the Tiger supporters came out of nowhere and jumped on. So like our mate, Jonathan Strangio, who jumped us on as a Tiger supporter in 2017.
Strand shout out. Love it.
Strand shout out. Anyway, they're the it team. They're very successful. Yeah. Probably like similar to the Bulls back in the 90s or the Lakers when Kobe was there. I don't know what era that was. But anyway, very successful under the head coach of Bill Belichick, who's one of the greatest coaches in NFL history. Last year, they lost their star quarterback in Tom Brady, which is a massive thing because he'd been at the Patriots his whole career. Like when you think of Patriots, you think of Tom Brady. So that's relevant because it kind of like changed the dynamic of the team on the field. But I also feel like it's changed the dynamic of the way that they create content now because they've got this new quarterback, Cam Newton, who's a very big personality in NFL. I encourage you all to go out and look at his Instagram if you haven't. It's sensational. But anyway, I feel like the Patriots have shifted from this like clean, successful like team on and off the field to a little bit more edgy. And I'm bringing them up because obviously with games starting, everyone's going through their season launch and countdown to the season stuff. I thought they've really executed it well. I'm going to show you it. And then I've got a couple of points that I want to bring out, but here it is now. Hopefully this works. Let's go.
The 2020 NFL Draft.
Touchdown, Patriots!
Today we let it rip, fellas!
Let's go!
Love that. I think that the main thing that stands out to me is the sound design in that. Like that's spectacular. Just with like the subtle street noises, the real fast paced clicks to social media. That's really cool.
That guy there is like his name is Julian Edelman. And he's the wide receiver that was one of the biggest part of the Patriots offensive, like the dynasty under Tom Brady. And there was a trio of them. There was Julian Edelman, who's still there, Tom Brady, who's gone to another team, and Rob Gronkowski, who retired, but then came out of retirement to join Tom Brady at this new team that he went to. So focusing it on Edelman is kind of like this real, I feel like it's a power thing where it's like, we've got the one that matters still. Like we've got the one that's still grinding it out.
Bit of attitude.
Bit of attitude. I thought this was really interesting. Obviously, like we see like heaps of these videos come out at this time or every year, and it's always like a really exciting kind of thing is like what they're going to do. I thought this was just so well executed because it was only a minute. There wasn't anything that was like, oh, we lost Tom Brady, this, that, whatever.
Yeah.
And there was no voiceover.
Yeah, that's true. I think what I loved is hearing how you're responding to that is it's something you're unpacking. Like you're unpacking what we saw on the screen, not only in the slick editing, but because there's a message behind it. There's like a story as to why it's edited like that. And obviously I wasn't aware of it, but yeah, that was really cool.
Yeah, I just thought it was really slick. Like it told the story of everything that's gone off in the off season without having this booming voice that's walking the person through it.
Yeah.
Clean and kind of like a new edge for them. But if we talk about season opener videos, maybe this is like something people need to look back as like, they don't need to be this big, fucking 4-minute production.
Yeah.
Maybe they just need to be shorter,
powerful,
punchier. Yeah.
Because that, how often do you think when there's an important video, like a season launch or something like that, that naturally a lot of our minds go to, we should probably include a voiceover, because a voiceover sort of notes big and important, right? But this sort of goes against that, where big and powerful is actually the eerie sounds and all the other stuff.
Yeah. It plays on the sounds that we've all been hearing during lockdown, like the keyboards typing, the clicking of the mouse, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I love
that. I always go for voiceovers, and when I think of season openers, I think we did it in this year's season opener. We had this great script, and it does work. But if you're looking to produce something just as impactful, in my mind, and that won't rate as the best season opening video you'll ever see in your life, but it's perfect for social. I think it's just well executed, and it gives you that excitement for the season without, like, I don't know, it doesn't even build up your expectations too much, does it? It just kind of like, it's like we're ready to go type thing.
Yeah, no, I love it. And I think it's a very interesting point. Go back to your original point, how does the personality on field or the people that you're covering impact your brand online? Like you said, that straight away that Tom Brady is gone, and that was very clean cut, and then like a new phase, and now it's like a different look. I think that's really, that's interesting how the personnel, the players can actually shape your brand.
Shift the way.
Yeah, if you had a really outgoing, arrogant player that has a bit of cheek to them, you've sort of got to match how you post.
Yes, correct. Especially when you're talking about them, or you've been locked into this old way for so long, and now there's this new exciting opportunity. Why wouldn't you explore it?
Yeah,
it's almost like with football, when you have an older generation of players slowly shift out, and probably happened with Carlton a little bit. Not while we were there, but we probably saw the transition of it, where all these young guys are coming in, and they're a bit more social savvy. They're a bit more like willing to put their brand out. Matthew Cottrell is a perfect example, willing to have a bit of fun off the field with his TikToks and stuff like that. And on the field, you can see he's heavily influenced by the other sports that he's watching, and his celebrations and all that. And it changes the way you post, you're right, because you want to show people personality more than just performance.